July 26th. Welcome to my little corner. Grab a coffee and let's get smarter together. I want to begin our exploration of the concept of space with the Hagia Sophia. Built in the 530s in Constantinople by the Roman Emperor Justinian, it measured 182 feet from the ground to the apex of its great dome. By the year 1000, it was still the tallest building in Europe by far. Most church towers at that time, the tallest buildings around, were no more than 80 feet high, while the vast majority of all buildings were one-story wooden structures. By 1811, Lincoln Cathedral topped out at 525 feet, what is not far from the maximum height a building made of stone can reach. So, between 1000 and 1300, the tallest point of the European skylines quintupled in height, quintupled 5 times, and these tall buildings became ubiquitous. By 1600, every parish had a substantial stone structure at its heart. I bring this up because it's not without reason why defining space played a central role in the scientific revolution, which reached its peak with the publication of Isaac Newton's Principia Mathematica in 1687. Of course, people thought about space before, but mankind had been pretty much a caterpillar for the longest time, moving around in two-dimensional space and only going up when the surface of Earth made them. From the perspective of a person climbing the mountain, though, the options were still only going to be forward-backward or left-right. Despite mountains, space was flat. And that was the desired thinking, as the story about the Tower of Babel indicates. The race to height turned humans into butterflies. There was suddenly a third option to go for humans. Up-down. The experience is completely different to a two-dimensional experience. As the caterpillar and butterfly example shows, priors learned by one don't work for the other without adaptation to the new circumstances. The discovery of a third dimension led to exploration. First to be axed was the geocentric cosmos, to be replaced by a heliocentric universe. Planets moved, and they moved around the sun. Claro. That put Aristotle's belief out of business that the natural tendency of objects was to remain at rest. Q. Newton. His theories about space and time helped him explain the movements of objects, because he didn't want to stay at rest. He viewed space as absolute, existing permanently and independently of whether there was any matter in it. That's different than the view of a relationist like Leibniz, who argued that space is a collection of spatial relations between objects, like families and their relations that wouldn't exist without people. The consequence of this view is that for a relationist, space can't be continuous but must be discrete because there's always a last object. Newton won that argument thanks to a bucket of water. At least until Einstein with his relativities came along and then quantum physics. But much of our understanding of space today is still characterized by Newton. There are 3 dimensions represented by 3 lines that stand perpendicular to each other. The position of every object can be exactly described by naming its coordinates, its location in relation to the 3 lines at any moment. But space itself just is. It can't be described by any other quantity. When you think about it well, as Kant did, for example, we need to perceive it first with space. It is part of our world generation, what happens in our mind. So, is it really fundamental or only fundamental to us and our attempt to create a model that works for us, that explains the physical universe to us and takes our limitations as given? And why would space change from a cloud to a point just because we observe it? There's more exploration going on. also known as thinking. Make a habit out of thinking. Turn thinking into the norm again. Like, comment, share, and follow lest you miss a single opportunity to improve yourself and society. Once you do, we'll meet again at the coffee pot.